look at that. What is it that the province has lost with the disappearance of those two teams? The 20 million spent on Makufe last year is subjected to irregularities and controversy with court case lost by the department and has yet to be interrogated by this legislature. Recreation is a critical aspect of a healthy and happy society, and yet the executive has allowed our public spaces, parks and playgrounds to fall into disrepair. The lack of investment in these areas has left us with no safe spaces to enjoy physical activity or to come together as a community. The importance of recreation in maintaining physical and mental health cannot be overstated, especially in our modern society where depression and mental illnesses are crippling our people. Access to parks, hiking trails, and public spaces for physical activity needs to be promoted for foster and healthy lifestyles. However, as we look around, we find these spaces are constantly neglected with broken benches and unsafe play equipment. These areas are breeding grounds for crime. Our people face the possibility of being attacked every time they wish to use these neglected facilities, such as hiking trails, camping sites, and water sports activities. Those facilities that were once pillars of our tourism industry and job creation are mere shadows of their former selves. Honorable Speaker, I will not refer back to the Auditor General's report of 2021-2022. One theme was evident throughout the whole report, and that is, and I quote, a lack of consequence management, unquote. The Auditor General reported wasteful expenditure of 581,000 rand. Claims against the department runs at 13.2 million. And irregular expenditure ran up to a total of 30 million. If this is any indication of what is to come, then the 1.9 billion budgeted for will not aid and benefit our people. An aspect that the DA is probing is the money paid by the management of Free State Sports Confederation to themselves. That includes what we regard as the illegal COVID-19 bonuses. The department continues to dodge this in committee meetings, but the DA will, as a result, have to pass this on to law enforcement agencies for further investigation. We receive complaints regularly about library facilities. One such complaint is that the Ray's library was closed for weeks because the electricity account was not paid. Now, my fellow people, we must ask ourselves, why is there such a lack of investment in sports, arts, culture, and recreation? Are these not the pillars of a prosperous society? Is our government so ignorant that they disregard the potential for economic growth in these sectors? The resources are there. The plans are there. The problem is the ANC-run government. The ANC is a self-enriching organization. The ANC has lost all capabilities and political will. Arts and culture are the lifeblood of our community. Funding has increased year after year, but our people receive less and less. Our precious resource, the resources of our hard-working taxpayers' money, only end up in the pockets of some people within the ANC. Our provincial museums and cultural facilities are similarly neglected. These have the potential to bring in much needed tourism and in fact used to do so. But sadly, those buses full of tourists are driving through the Free State without stopping. Our province is rich in talent, but what is the point of talent when we don't invest in it? We have actors, musicians, painters, and writers whose potential goes unnoticed due to the lack of financial support from the government. Investing in arts and culture will not only provide a platform for talented individuals, but also promote our province's unique identity and attraction tourism. The DA believes that it is time to prioritize sports, arts, culture, and recreation in the province. We believe that youth sports programs should be supported and given the necessary resources to thrive. It is also crucial that we promote and support our local artists and invest in the cultural industry. Furthermore, we believe that the province should invest in the development of parks and recreational facilities to encourage citizens to engage in outdoor activities. In doing so, we not only promote physical well-being, but also improve the quality of life of the citizens. We need to hold our leaders accountable and demand their attention to these issues. We must demand equal access and opportunities for all, regardless of race, gender, and social status. This province can thrive in sports, arts, culture, and recreation. And the government must act to make this a reality. To the current executive, I say this: your wasteful spending, corruption, and neglect of your duties have consequences. And the consequences are falling squarely on the shoulders of our citizens. The consequences of your actions will be that the voters of this province will take you out in 2024. And they will elect the party that will work for them, the Democratic Alliance. We, as the Democratic Alliance, will not rest until our children have access to world-class facilities and training programs. We will not rest until our artists are given the resources they need to create and thrive. We will not rest until our public spaces are safe and accessible to all. Let us remember the words of Martin Luther King Jr. I quote when he said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter," unquote. It is time for us to raise our voices and demand the change we deserve. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, remember the words of King. Don't forget those. The province needs to recognize the value of sports, arts, culture, and recreation in society. We call upon the executive to take note of these issues and take action in providing the necessary resources to develop and sustain these sectors. Let us work together to create a prosperous and inclusive society where every citizen has access to opportunities for growth and development. We demand change.
Thank you, Honorable Lutuka. Your time has expired.
Thank you.
Honorable MEC Makume.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Premier, my colleagues in the Executive Council, honorable members of the legislature, executive mayors present, the hosting municipality, the executive mayor and the speaker, representatives from the House of Traditional Leaders, representatives of the sports federations as well as the arts and culture councils, management and officials of the department, and Free Staters, good afternoon. I thought that we were going to discuss the budget, but now I think we have to take another tune just to give some few lessons to the members of the opposition, honorable members in this area. Let me start first by recalling what one of the greatest moralists and essayists, Joseph Joubert, once said, that the aim of the discussion and the aim of the debates and the aim of the argument is not to win, but is for progress. So you don't ascend the stage and want to win, but ascend the stage so that the country can progress and the province can progress. Can this be a lesson to our members from the oppositions moving forward? That every time we contribute, the contribution has to be on the province progressing forward. The preamble of the Constitution of this country states as follows, that the aim of the Constitution is to heal the divisions of the past, establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, fundamental human rights, improve the quality of life of all citizens, and free the potential of each person. This is what we have been mandated to do. So the Constitution says to all of us here, the leading and the opposition parties, that we must free the potential of each person. And this is being derived because we are from a particular history that I will explain later, that has cost so much that today some people are proud to say they want to access the rights that for 350 years they have denied our people. Let me also try to explain some few concepts that are linked to societal development. Because I think the members of the opposition parties, honorable members, they seem not to understand the meaning of the sector that we are with today. Number one, sports is an activity involving physical, action, and skill in which an individual or teams complement or compete against one another or others for entertainment, for them as individual and as communities to develop. Number two, culture. Culture, its ideas, its customs, its forms and standards of behavior that a community will agree upon. But it will be those cultures that will make you to unite in diversity. But the ultimate point of culture is that the society must develop. The society should not stay static. The other one is the expression and the application of the human creativity, the arts. The arts should be allowed to express itself to ensure that whatever the ills in the society are exposed, but also the benefits of the society are also being praised. Then lastly, the recreational. The recreational promotes active lifestyles. It helps individuals to build a healthy commodities and minimize tensions in their communities and minimize divisions in their communities, because people will start to play together and work together to one goal, which is what of building a community. So this will also relate to the Free State community. Now, having understand these four concepts, it will tell you that you can't use culture, you can't use sports, you can't use recreation, nor arts to divide the society. You have to make use of these things to build the society. We can only use sports and culture to build a prosperous province based on the following principles. The principles of unity. It's only sports, arts, culture, and recreation that can unite our people across racial lines. The problem is that the history that our country, the painful history that we are coming from, some group of minorities, the culture was inculcated to them that for them to be excelling in sports, you have to be of a particular color. That is why they still resist to use sports, arts and culture and recreation to unite the society, which is something that we need to reach. The era before the democratic breakthrough in 1994 points to a very painful past and a horrible movie whereby sports, arts and culture and recreation were used to promote a system which was declared a crime against humanity. Sports, arts, culture and recreation was used to perpetuate the thinking that the color of skin was a condition to excel in certain particular categories of sports. Sports, arts and culture was also used to ensure that the minority will have access to the resources, both facilities and the human resources and the monetary facilities. You go to all the towns in our areas in the Free State, most of the most developed facilities, you almost found them in town, because the financial sector and the private sector in the past, they have colluded with the government of the day then to establish those facilities. With us, the ANC-led government, we are alone to establish such facilities. Today we are being questioned. Where are those facilities? Ask the private sector and the financial sector, where is their contribution to today's government? The sports, arts, recreation and culture was also used to psychologically make a black child to feel very inferior, but a white child to feel superior than the other because of the resources. The problem here, it's not the color. The problem is the access to the resources. If you want to argue it furthermore, I will explain it to you. In 1989, after the apartheid government was allowed to participate in the world sports, there was a runner in Sasolburg, Ntate Sam Chabalala. May his soul rest in peace. He ran in the first marathon ever, the Comrades Marathon. After 73 years of anniversary of Comrades Marathon, and he won the race, and he defeated those who have access because of the potential and talent. Let me tell you where I'm going from. Every child who's born is born with a talent. All what we need to do is to extract the talent from the child. And the only way to do that is to give them access to such challenges. And every child has the potential to win, to sing, to dance like any other one, as long as there are resources given to them. Now, fast forward, after the 1994 breakthrough, the sports now was also used by the ANC-led government to try and unite the country. The first thing that we did was to accept the then apartheid symbols and make them our symbols. Springbok, the Protea. We accepted them. All what we're trying to do was to ensure that we don't win, but we put the progress of the country at heart. We have also ensured that we build facilities that were never, ever dreamed about in the olden days by a black child. Multi-purposes were started to be erected in our townships. Sports facilities, including soccer facilities, were started to be erected in our areas. MEC Maki made a very compelling observation today that hypothetically, we're not even supposed to be talking about what is happening or what happened in the olden days. But the reality denies us. The question is why? Just a simple answer. You can't find white boys playing with a cloth made of a rugby ball in a street. But every time go to a township, you'll find black children playing with a ball made of a cloth. The reason is the resource. So soccer or sports, arts and culture is also linked with the kind of society we are trying to build. What was built before the era of 1994 is something different than what we are trying to build today. I was so surprised that Honorable Klute, indeed, you only found one item out of these so many items that were raised in the budget speech. But let me tell you why. The problem is you are still denying to account of what we have done to our country for 350 years. You can't even talk about the national significance of the days. In this country, we've got significant days that always recall our history. So it is difficult for you to talk about such because you'll have to account to your children exactly what happened in March. Why are they calling it Human Rights Day? You have to tell them that we shot these people because they demanded IDs. So it is difficult for you to appreciate that we have this thing in our budget. So I'm trying to appeal to you, all of you members of the opposition, try to appreciate and internalize these things so that when we come here, we commit ourselves that never and never shall our country experience such inhuman things that were done to the Africans and black people in general. So, you also can't celebrate who we are because you don't want to become part of Africa. You see yourself as part of Africa by the color of the skin. That is why you also disallow your children to participate in some of the most important games. Games like soccer, but more importantly, games like the indigenous games. Let me tell you about the indigenous games. There's a game called Diketo. It's a very most important game. It helps a child to develop in this way. Diketo, it's a game where you put plus or minus 12 stones together. You make a cycle. Some, they dig a hole. You put those stones in the hole or in the circle. What happens there? A child starts to learn how to count. The first thing they do, they take one stone out of the hole or return one stone to the hole. So there's also a subtraction and additional mathematical methodology. So Diketo, ke thuto ya rona ya ma-Africa, o tlameleng re ikgabe ka yona. The indigenous games, again, Diketo, they also help us to relate, to relate with our cultures, to start to associate with one another. You can't play Diketo alone. It needs a number of people. In so doing, you start to associate the society at the early beginning age. So just imagine of a country where a black and white children, babapala Diketo, starting to appreciate their cultures. So we are not doing that because we are not ready to face a country where we will say we are making sports, arts, and culture to contribute to a building of a united, democratic, and non-racial and non-sexist South Africa. Now, the heroes' monuments, and our people have always been misled that the ANC-led government is wasting time, is wasting money by building monuments. Let me tell you, the monuments are about tracing the history of where we are coming from and where we are and where we are going. Go to each and every town in the Free State. There are old monuments of the then apartheid leaders, both General Hertzog-Phil and many generals. Why? Because they are able to trace their history and they appreciate it. Now, if you want to kill a nation, make it not to appreciate its history. It is for that reason that they will condemn the ANC-led government to build the monuments under a democratic state so that our children should grow without knowing their culture. Here is an education today. You can only know where you are going only if you know where you are coming from. Now, the bitter end why they don't want these monuments, it is because they will also make them to account about the progress that they are making. Just think if we can have a monument around the stolen land in 1913, they will have to account, why did you steal this land? So it is very much difficult for them to appreciate these things because they are linked with the kind of society we are trying to build. Now, there's a program again that includes and other members of the opposition. It's called Rejabuka. This is aimed at destroying the ignorance and illiteracy. And I think MEC Maki tswela pele ka yona. Actually, invite members, particularly members who can't pronounce kwa hantle, ba e bitsa kwa, so that they become part of the Rejabuka. The Rejabuka is going to ensure that every person in the society, it's not about an academic achievement, but at least you are able to count, read, and speak. That's all it's aimed at. So Rejabuka, people are able to read in their own language, but they're also able to share their different languages. Because in South Africa, unfortunately, we've got 11 official languages, and it is expected of all of us to know and understand all of them. So here is a call by the MEC to say all members should join Rejabuka, and children in particular must also participate. So take your child to Rejabuka so that they can then understand the proficiency of other languages.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Your time has expired. The Honorable MEC may now reply to the debates.
No, Eric Leboe motsamaisi wa dipuisano, ke lebohe dibui tsohle tse buileng tsa mokgatlo o moholo e leng wa ANC. Di-input tse ba di entseng, ho bua nnete fela ho ema ka pele mona, ke feel ekare ke tla be ke senya nako after what MEC Toto said and explained to all members of opposition party. Mara ke nahana hore ho bohlokwa motsamaisi wa dipuisano hore nke ke hlalose hanyane hore na Makhufe a entse eng ka hare ho Free State haholoholo nakong ena ya selemo se fetileng hobane ke a utlwa ba bua hore di artist ha dia benefita. I think before they can talk, they must go to the speech that I wrote or presented here, because what I said to them is that out of all the artists that performed, 50% were local artists, and those local artists were paid. I don't know if they read that or they were listening. Ke bue hape ka ena e ke utlwileng through you, Honorable Speaker, ya Ntate Tlute. ha a re di-statue tsa bona di a lahluwa, there's no way re tlo di lahlang hobane ha re ka ra di lahla re tlo etsa phoso re le batho ba batsho. Re tlameha re nne re di bone re hopole hore na ba ile ba re etsang batho bana hore re tsebe ho itukisa kapa ho aha botjhaba ba rona. Ha ke tsebe ha ke qala ho bua ka mme Machabalala wa EFF tshantse ke qale kae. Kore ke tlala matsoho empa ha bonahala hore nako nngwe re tlameha re bale di-speech tsa rona pele re tlo bua. That's why re tlisitse program ena ya re ja buka. Ke kopa re je buka mme wa ka bana ha e tloa fela ntho tsa di buileng kaofela nna ke a di utlwa. Ka nnete ha ke batla ho bua maka ha ke a di utlwa. Ha qala o buile ka corruption, you know, it's so easy for someone or people or opposition to say ANC is corrupt. I remember quite well hore monga bona ba mitsang CIC o ile a aha this bridge Gauteng mane e leng ya collapse because of what? O ile a ja tjhelete. Is that not corruption? Mme wa ka, di-library tsa rona di a sebetsa empa ke tlameha ho hlakisa ena. When we provincialize the library, there were no resources. Re provincialize it fela, ya ba re nka di-staffu, ha hona any other money e rileng ra ithola. So that's why we appealed to local municipalities, so let's work hand in hand with you to ensure that other things that are happening there or that are supposed to happen there, they do happen. So, re ka se kgone ka bo rona. The other thing important, they were saying, all of them, if not, yeah, I think all of them, they were saying, ha hona any activities tse etsahalang ka hare ho di-district tsa rona kapa our local municipalities. I said it, I think it's 2 terms or two previous financial years. Hore, we did district festivals. District festivals ki ene re ke o hlalosetse mme Machabalala. Re ile ka hare ho di masepala ra leka ho batlana le talent jwale ka hare le department e developang ra ya di districting ra leka ho thola talent ena. Some of the people ba sa performang mo Makhufeng, they performed go home brew, which is one of the program e developing our own artists and ba ile ba thola tjhelete mo. So when you do your speech, try by all means to research. O ska bua for the sake of talking or wa bala speeches o sngoletseng o sa senahanisisa hantle. I believe my former colleagues or the colleagues tse buileng before nna ba ilana ba bua hore mona ha ke mona o tlo accounta to portfolio committee. I'm just here to table the budget hore batho ba rona ba tsebe hore na what is it that you are going to do this financial year. So if you want answers, let's go to portfolio committee and I won't run away. I will come and explain everything that you want me to explain to the portfolio committee. This is just a presentation of what we want to do this financial year. But when it comes to Ntate Letuka, I don't know. I seriously don't know. Kore. Ereke kale mona. Me Khadisha Brown, we la table a budget. But I want all of you to know hore budget eo hana e table ona thusa rona re le departments hore re tlhone ho thusetsa mo community ya rona re kgone ho etsa tsena tse batlahalang re di etse mo di communities tsa rona. But let me shock you hore all the opposition parties habaka ba support budget ena. And yet today ba batla ho tla ba tlo claim hore there are no resources, there are no facilities, but ha ba support. I don't know if you hear what I'm saying. Ha re se ke ra tlang ga tlo grandstander just because le bona batho ba tletse mona. And e re ke le bolelle hape hore ANC e ntse tlo wina. You can talk ka mokgo le batlang. These people here are going to vote ANC. They know where they come from. They know the fact that honosna the sports facilities in their areas, all the sports facilities ne di le ka hara toropo, and including kore ke batla hore ke bue ka ena ya Metshidi hore our own mothers suffered, the pensioners suffered, because everything was meant for white people but not for black people. So we are here, young as I am, we are going to change the way things used to happen. Ka sapoto ya lona. Whether you like it or not.
Please pause, Honorable MC. Members of the public, we requested earlier, it is in terms of our rules that only the sworn-in members sitting here can participate. We know that we have called you to this process because we wanted the public to be part of this process, but members may not participate. So ululating and clapping hands and making all the noises is against our rules. I am making a humble plea that let us be excited inwardly. Proceed, Honorable Member.
No, ke a leboha motsamaisi wa dipuisano. Ntate Letuka, mohlomong ha we, but I understand because botsofadi bo kene o ka se di tsebe kaofela ntho tsena. No, I'm not personal, I'm just saying it. Let me explain it. Wait and listen. Listening is a skill, Ntate wa ka. Department of Education and Department of Sports ba kopane ba etsa moralo wa ho etsa Magnificent Wednesday, which is sport. So when you say we are not partnering or we are not doing anything for the learners, this is what we are doing. And if you remember correctly, the then or the late Ntate Tate Mahwe, we like to show you how I implemented this program. We had the district Magnificent Friday Wednesdays, and later on we had the provincial one. So that's why I'm saying, how bua onzo check out na ntoi buang ke nnete kapa ha se ka tlo grandstand mon. The other thing that I wanted to indicate kore hara docha any portfolio committee. Remember when portfolio committee babitsa di departments to come and present, they will tell you focus on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are still waiting. If you want us to come with confederation, we will come with confederation to come and account. So we mustn't come here and say all these funny things because we haven't received any invitation that says we want to see you and your entities or confederation or NPOs. As soon as we get that invitation, we will gladly come and report or account to the portfolio committee. So I just want to say, batswadi ba ka ba tlile mona ka hlompho e kgolo. Mosebetsi wa opposition ke ho oppose. Ha ba re lakaletse tsentle. Empa rona we will soldier on. Re etse bophelo ba motho wa motsho ba motjha o a leng teng a dulang a sa fara hore bo fetohe ka matla le support ya lona. Ke a leboha.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. The reply by the Honorable MEC concludes the debate. Order. Order. Sis what? Honorable, no. Honorable member, when you have heard something that is said by a member, you raise an order, you don't respond to that by a wrongdoing as well. Honorable Peterway.
Honorable Speaker, on a point of order, I'm asking for the so manyth time from Honorable Mohale not to show fingers at me and shout at me. I am a woman and we live in a world of GBV.
Order.
And he is
Order.
disrespecting it And it's not the first time that I'm asking you to rule on it, please.
Honorable Peter Way, did you say sis to Honorable MEC?
Okay, I won't lie. When she walked past, I said sis, but I said sis could
Please
be to
withdraw.
anything. I withdraw sis. Thank you.
Thank you.
But that still doesn't give an
Honourable
honourable
MEC.
member the
Order.
right to disrespect a woman.
Honorable MEC Muhal. Order. Honorable MEC Muhal. Did you point a finger at her? Did you challenge her?
Remarks which are unparliamentary in the House. I had to refer to her name, that it is this Honorable Peter Way. The one of showing and so on, maybe she's imagining things, and I know she always admires me, but unfortunately I can't help.
Order,
So she
Honorable
imagines
MEC.
me.
Order. Honorable MEC. It was enough for you to tell me what I'm addressing the MEC. I'm addressing the Honorable MEC. Please wait. Honorable MEC, it was wrong for you to to point a finger at Honorable Peter Way. Yes, it was correct to bring to the attention of the presiding officer that she had said something derogatory. So I hope that is not going to happen again in the House. I cannot say withdraw a finger because a finger is not a word. That is my predicament right now. You don't want to adjourn, honorable members. I see. Honorable Peter Way.
Speaker, I'll be laying an official complaint, but the Honourable, and you can go listen to the Hansard, said that he knows I'm admiring him. To me, that's a sexual advance, and I will be laying charges. Thank you.
Honorable MEC, please withdraw the words that you are Honorable Peter Way is admiring you. Because, order, honorable members. Hi,
Speaker, I don't understand the context of why the member is making an issue. It is a common cause, Speaker, that as and when members are debating, there are always those members that admires to engage whatever you are doing. Any other context of admiration that member is referring to, I may not be aware of, and I can't help to withdraw something I don't know. But I was referring to the fact that each time when I'm raising issues, the member is always rising to oppose whatever I'm saying or have an issue with regard to that. So I don't understand what is it that is so unparliamentary when I have made the observation that the member always shows interest in whatever issues I'm raising. I don't understand what is so offensive about that. Thank you very much.
She feels offended. Withdraw the words that she admires you. To her, it means something else.
Okay. I will withdraw that part. I withdraw, Speaker.
Thank you. Without conditions.
Without
Thank you.
conditions, Speaker.
Honorable MEC Liato.
Honorable Speaker, in admiring Honorable Peter Way, I think there was an order called because she has been abusing Honorable Maki Mahase by saying sis, emotional all the time when she was standing there. She has been saying sis, sis. In my township where I stay, when you say sis to a person, so she must withdraw. I did not hear her withdrawing as I admire her.
No, Honorable MEC, she did withdraw. I requested her to withdraw and she withdrew what she said. And please don't say it again because it's not the first time that you have to be called to withdraw the word sis. Honorable Chabalala. All right.
Thank you, Speaker.
I can see you don't want to adjourn today.
Honorable Speaker,
ka tlhompho e kgolo le boikokobetso ke kopa ka nnete MC Mike ha bui hantle e ke be a ha bua ka ntate mane a ba re hobane o tsofetse ha ona motho a tlile mona a sa tsebe dilemo tsa hae re utlwa a nyenyefatsa ka nnete o monyane ha be le mokgwa o motle wa ho bua ke a leboha speaker.
Honorable members, in the House, when you hear a member saying something that you feel like it's not correct, you raise a point of order at that particular time. Now I have to go back to what Honorable MEC, did you say Ntateli Tuka Utsufezi?
Ke a leboha speaker ho mpha monyetla ona hore ke hlalose ntho e ke e buileng. Ha ke a bua mantswe a buuweng ke mme mane. Ene o tla ba etsa phoso e kgolo ho misleader batho. Ntho e ke e buileng ke itse ka hlompho e kgolo ke tshaba ho bua le ntate ka ntate le tuka hobane ke motho a moholo. Ke yona ntho e ke e buileng ka hlompho e kgolo. Don't come and mislead us, please.
Honorable Lituka. Okay.
Thank you very much, Speaker. You know, even if Honorable Mahasa, I wonder whether I'll be correct to be saying Honorable Mahasa, on the basis of what she said when she was there, I didn't raise an objection because I didn't want to demean myself in getting involved in what she was saying. I just kept quiet. It's exactly what the honorable member over there heard. You can go and check Hansard. That's precisely what she said. And finally, Speaker, through you, at times things that are said here are really unpalatable. How I wish people could remember where we are and why we are here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaker.
Honorable, Honorable, I'll come to you, Honorable Chief Whip. I'm going to request Hansard so that I can make a ruling on this matter. And two wrongs don't make a right. It is not correct also for you to say you don't want to call her honorable, because all the people who are sitting here who've been sworn in are honorable members, irrespective of what is happening. But I will go and check Hansard so that I can make a ruling on that matter. Honorable members, it is when unpalatable things are said in the House, it is for the members to be able to bring those to the attention of the presiding officer to be able to rule on that. So it's not gonna help to raise them in general terms like we are doing right now. So I think that is what we should do in the future. Honorable Chief Whip.
No, thanks, Speaker. It's a pity that you can't call a speaker to order. I saw you conducting a kangaroo court. Speaker.
I withdraw that, Honorable Chief
Or
Whip.
I withdraw.
Heberton.
We all have a responsibility to observe the decorum of the House. The rules don't provide for derogatory expression from any member here. So it's prudent that the issue should be taken to ethics so that it is resolved there. Parliamentary processes provide that if any member said a derogatory something in Parliament, which they know they are not supposed to, the matter must be subjected to ethics. So this issue must go straight to ethics and be dealt there. And we close this issue.
No, honorable members. If I were to send that, there is a process to follow. When a member refuses to withdraw, when the presiding officer tells the member to withdraw and they do, I cannot take that matter further. But had she refused to do that, you like replying when, or talking, the next thing, something will be raised that you said, Honorable Peter Way, please refrain from that. So honorable members, Honorable Peter Way withdrew the statement she made or the expression. I haven't adjourned the meeting, Mar. The statement she made or the derogatory phrase that she used. Honorable members, I mentioned when we started that some members, especially for the second time, the members of the Economic Freedom Fighters did not attend without any leave of absence or any communication. The chief whip of the legislature did not say anything to me. I want to tell the House that when it comes to that such of a conduct, we have Rule 26, which we might have to apply, because we cannot have members absenting themselves or leaving as they wish without even reporting to the chief whip of the House that they are doing so. So I don't want it to appear like it's something that we are not taking note of or something that we are not going to act on. We are going to act on that conduct. It's